Hi, it's Kari Mathews of Prairie Quilting. Today we're working on my Peachy Cream Sampler, and the pattern is available through my website, prairiequilting.com. And the fabric I used for this is called Peaches and Cream by Kari Mathews, me, for Banner Tech. So I'm so excited about it. And today we're going to look at cherry prints, okay? So we have this pretty, it's kind of a mint background on this with the cherries. I love cherry prints. And then we have a pretty coral color, okay, for the background on this. And I actually have a version of this in my dining room on the walls. So I love that color. And then, of course, we need a peach. So peaches and cream for the peaches and cream. A peachy color on the background for this one. Today, we're going to be working on two blocks. It's this one right here and down at the bottom, this block right here. Okay, it's kind of a flower block. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we are making some half square triangle units, and we're gonna go ahead and match up this white tonal with the red geoprint. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and draw our diagonal line. And we're gonna sew a 1/4 inch from both sides of that line. And we'll turn it around and come back the other side. All right, and we're going to trim on that line and cut those apart. So we'll give them a top press and then just press toward that red. I like to use steam. I'm sure you can hear my iron here. I just feel like it gives it a nice, good press. Right, and now we're gonna go ahead and clip our corners off. Okay, so now we are going to cut these units, the half square triangle units, in half perpendicular to that seam. And we're just gonna cut those in half, all of them. Okay, so now we have the pieces for our petals, okay, for this flower. So each of these gives us, they're opposite each other, where the red, the placement is. Okay, so we are actually going to put the red around this square. Okay, so this is our next unit we're constructing. So we're gonna go ahead and take those pieces, let's just line them up so we don't confuse them. And okay, so now we're gonna take, we have these cute squares. These are the corner of our block, okay? And we're just gonna, let's start, and we're gonna sew along this edge here. Okay, let's go ahead and sew. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and press toward the white square. There's just less bulk going that way. Okay, so next we're gonna go ahead and put the other side on. Okay, so we'll match this one up now. We're gonna go ahead and go toward this red here. And we're gonna go ahead and trim our corners, and this one got folded back, so we'll just trim both of those. Okay, so now we're matching up these units we just made with these pink triangles. Okay, so we'll go ahead, and I'm just going to put a pin in the center. Corners up here, and putting a pin. Okay, and the last one here. gonna go ahead and press toward the pink. There's a lot less bulk going that way. And I like to press wherever I'm going toward. I like that on the top. And then I just can peel that back and it's pretty easy. Okay, and now we are gonna clip our corners here. All right, we have our cute little flower heads all done. So let's go ahead and finish the block. All right, so here's our block all laid out, and now we basically have a 9 patch we're putting together. So let's just go ahead and start lining our rows up. We're gonna sew these parts into rows here. Okay, one more block to connect to each row. All right, let's go ahead and sew. All right, and usually I don't go toward the white, but you know what? To just keep less bulk, we're gonna do it this time. So we're going toward the white for all of these. All right, so now let's go ahead and connect our rows. Okay, and I'm nesting my seams. I'm feeling to make sure they're butting against each other. And on this side as well. All right, and one last row here. And you can just feel that with your fingers when they're nested. And we're gonna press toward the center there. All right, our cute flower block is finished. Okay, so for our hourglass block, we are going to have to start with some half square triangle units, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and draw a diagonal line, and we'll sew a 1/4 inch from both sides of the line. All right, we're just gonna turn around and come back the other direction. Okay, now we're gonna cut on that line. All right, and we'll press toward the red here. All right, and now we're just clipping the corners off here. Okay, so we have our half square triangle units, and we will put these together to make some hourglass units. Okay, so here are our half square triangle units. We are going to match those up with opposite sides together. Okay, so I'm gonna feel in here along the center of the seam, and I can feel them nesting. Okay, so I'm gonna take and put a pin through both of those and leave a gap so that you can sew both sides of a line that we're gonna draw. Now we're gonna draw a line that is perpendicular to the seam that we have already sewn here. So there we go. Now we will sew a 1/4 inch on both sides of that line. Okay, and we'll turn around and come back. We have sewn, and now I took the pins out, and we're gonna go ahead and cut on that line. Okay, and to press, it doesn't really matter here. Okay, and let's trim those corners. All right, so now we have our hourglass units. Let's go ahead and finish our block. Okay, so now we just have a 4 patch. Okay, so let's just go ahead and put these together. And we're gonna go toward that white square just because there's less bulk that way. Okay, and we're gonna put that 4 patch together. So So let's go ahead and put a pin. I'm nesting those seams, and let's go ahead and sew. And we are pressing either direction. All right, our hourglass block is finished. All right, we finished our blocks. I hope you had fun, and I can't wait to see you next week for the next blocks. Take care.